welcome everyone. My name is Levine, and we are the Blood of the New Covenant Rama Ministry led by Pastor Jean-Pierre Akimba. Now, as youth, we have decided to organize a Christian discussion to address certain issues that we feel as Christians need to be addressed. Like, for example, we're not perfect. We're always trying to learn from each other, learn from our mistakes, without judging others as well. The passage that kind of helps me understand this better is when I read a book in the Bible in Ecclesiastes 11:9, where it says, "Be happy, young man, while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart and whatever your eye sees, but know that for all these things God will bring you judgment." Yes, there is always judgment to come. So in this thing, this is why we are all together. We decided to go with the topic on the more to come. So the topic of today is how to react to reproaches and criticism. And in the panel today, to help me discuss this discussion, I have Gloire, I have Miriam, Elvira, and Oxy. Now guys, I want to know, my first question is, what is reproaches to you guys? What is to be criticized and to be reproached by? Could be parents, could be a member in the church, some adults, your friends. It could be anyone in a society. How does reproach, what does criticism or reproach mean to you?
Well, a reproach is something that you say or do to criticize someone. And this can be something that you expected them, you were expecting something from them and they didn't deliver. And then you happen to criticize them. And these critics can either be positive, constructive or destructive. And people sometimes they tend to hold you on that way.
To hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but where did those criticism come from? Where does it come from? Parents, where do you feel much pressured? Is it from your friends in school, in church? Where do you feel as Christians that, oh my God, I'm being blamed for something or I'm being criticized for something? How do I react to this situation? I mean, as Christians, you must understand that we are expected to behave a certain way. God recommends us to show example to those who are not Christians because we lead by examples. So how do you respond to that, guys?
One place where blame can come from is your place of work, where you work. It can come in very different manners or ways. It can be from your employer, from your colleagues, expecting a certain degree of expectation from you. So workplace is one place, an area where you can get blames and reproaches or critics.
Is there any other?
As well as work, and you've already mentioned it, can also come from people that are around you. Let's say your own friends, and how your friends, like maybe your closest friends, or people maybe you meet on the road that you talk to, or people from colleges. And also to know it can also come from yourself. Sometimes people they're more inclined to also criticize themselves before before it's brought out into the world.
Okay.
I think we can also, as long as the same as what the two guys said, we can also encounter blames, reproaches from the church. So for example, pastors, let it be bishops, elders, or even if we have some youth leaders or choir leaders, and even some other members in the church, we can encounter criticisms.
Yeah, definitely all these aspects do come into consideration, but to me, like, reproaches definitely come from family the most, and especially your parents.
Definitely.
We know, like, the relationship between parents and kids it's quite complicated. And so, that reproach can come from them and also other family members, like your relatives or siblings. They can reproach you as well.
I know we're not perfect. I know we all make mistakes. I know that there's certain situations that is beyond our control. But what causes this criticism? What makes a certain person to be criticized or be reproached? Where does that come from? What is the cause of those reproaches and criticism, especially for Christians, for us young adults, youth?
Like I said before, reproaches come from parents, and so the reason why parents would blame or reproach you would definitely be on your behavior.
Yeah.
If you're gonna kill the kid who doesn't behave well, they expect you to behave in a certain manner and you don't, they're definitely gonna reproach you. And also their expectation of you, like if they expect you to be at one level and you're not reaching that level, they're teaching you a few things. Like me, especially myself at home, like my sister's always teaching me how to cook. So like if I don't do it a certain way, the way that she wants me to do it, obviously she's gonna come to me like, like, why are you not doing this the way that I asked you, and reproach me. And also it can be from their mood. Sometimes you get reproached, but like, where is this coming from? It kind of like this. I didn't do anything to be criticized or reproached, but sometimes it can be because they're in their mood. It might be because of some stress, financial stress, or emotional something in the family that's causing them to lash out on you and reproach you even if you're not wrong. Yeah.
Another way is in the context of the workplace I mentioned before, is that what can cause in workplace environment, maybe in every situation, is either you're wrong or the person doing it is wrong. It's one or the other. So let's say in the context of workplace, let's say your manager is blaming you because you didn't do this, or you should have done this, or you could have done that. Either he's wrong or you're wrong. And sometimes it can come from your colleagues or your employees. So basically you just have other people analyzing situations or trying to meet an expectation of you. So it can come from those people in the workplace context.
As my colleagues also mentioned, that it can come from your family, it can come from work, but it also, as I mentioned earlier as well, it can come from your friends as well. And with your friend is mostly by your behavior, how you surround yourself with them, how you interact, how you like act around your friends. And that's important. And also that it can also be if let's say you're different, like amongst other people or amongst your peers, and this can also cause sometimes friction, like if their understanding is not there on the same level. Let's say you're like on one page and they're on the other different page, and I know this for myself, like, cause I would say I was a bit little different, like I'm a bit different, and there were times where like me, my brother and my best friend, we have like this kind of understanding that's kind of like mutual to the three of us, and when we're like placed like with other friends and we're kind of like do this like we kind of do like small things, and people like they would just ask you like, oh, why are you doing this, like, but to us it's just like, why can't you, like, why not,
Yeah.
So it can come from that as well, and as Christians can definitely come from our faith.
True.
And
True.
and in the world we live in, people tend to
Test
usually
you,
criticize
you
about your faith and about your own belief. And I think in that part we just need to stay strong with our own beliefs, and just keep on to our own beliefs and move forward and move on.
As I said before as well, in the church, why do we encounter these blames? It's because possibly, as everybody said, in every category is our behavior. If we don't have a good behavior, of course they have to step front and be like, we have to change our behavior in order to walk the way they want us to walk. So we could be disrespectful, it's not that you just have to respect elders, we have to respect everybody, let them be young or let them be old, Also in the church, it could be because of our dress code. That's a big topic in church, especially for us girls.
Dress code is always a problem.
When they tell us, okay, we don't wear tight clothes, short skirts, we have to respect that, because we go to church, we're not there to show off, we don't go there to, distract anybody. It's not just girls, it's boys as well. Both
chains too.
Both categories do it. It could also be our attitude.
Yeah.
We could be rude sometimes, or we can, how do we even call it? When they're saying something, we cut them off straight away.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful. They're telling you, oh, this and that, but you're like, oh, but I'm this and that. That's already being rude to them. So we have to have a good behavior, have a good attitude in order to walk right with God. So that's another reason.
Definitely.
So that brings to my next question. So we've covered the reproach, we've covered where the reproach comes from, now the how to react. Now, this is what I see a lot happening, especially in Christian homes, especially children. They react terribly. Some slam doors, some curse at their parents, even the elders. It's something that I see, especially nowadays, especially as Christians. I'm like, oh my God. So how should we really react to this criticism? How should we really, these approaches when someone comes at you and criticizes you for something? How do you react? How should we react, and how do we react? That's something that I see on a daily basis. That kind of, some reactions shocks me. I'm like, oh my God, if I do that, oh, my mom will kill me. She will kill me, you know? But that's one of the issues that I want to really address, especially for youngsters today. It's something I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Just shocked. Guys, do you have anything to add into that, really? Because I'm sure we have loads.
How to react to blame or criticism, like, you just need wisdom.
True.
A lot of young people lack these days.
Oh God.
So, like, you have to be wise. Let's say you get blamed from something and this person is just shouting at you. The best thing to do is you stay relaxed and listen. You have to listen. And I know it's really difficult because sometimes you have anger boiling in you and you want to lash back, but according to the Bible, that's not the way to do it. You just have to relax and let them finish. Let them talk, let them rant, whatever they're going to do. And when they finish, think about it. Okay, I'm going to think about it. You go home, you pray, or you whatever you do, you think about it. And if that person was wrong, you come to him and say, okay, I think you're wrong, this, that. You know? Let's say in an African household or whatever, the parents was wrong. And you tell them after they finish shouting at you that they're wrong, it's going to get worse. So sometimes you just have to go think about it and you really meditate and listen to it. But in the context of a workplace, it's the same thing, same principle applies. If your manager is giving up to you because you're supposed to do this, but you did it, but he doesn't see it, you just say, okay, no problem, I'm sorry. And then you think about it and then you go tell him, but I did that, it's better. And there's one verse I just want to go through, which explains what it is. It's in Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. And like I said before, a lot of young people lack wisdom, and Proverbs is a wise book. So if people like wisdom, they should read it.
Yay, Proverbs!
So, verse 5 says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. So, even wise people still learn. You can be very smart, but you still learn. You're still learning every day. Yeah,
it's a learning process.
It is. So, like, how to react to blame, you just need to be really wise and learn from it. Like, the important thing is the reaction of doing that, being wise about it. And I think that's really important because it can either go bad or good. If you don't react like that, it will go bad and think the situation goes worse. And if you do it good, the outcome will be good. If you really sit down and think about it, the outcome will be good. And I've experienced that sometimes, like I'm being blamed from something and then you just...
It's not me!
Sorry, and then you lash out and think that it just gets worse and worse and you don't talk to these people for like 5 days.
I know.
But then sometimes you just, okay, alright, no problem. And then you come back the next day and then I had a friend that apologized to me after he blamed me, and I didn't say anything, I just sat down, I was like, okay, no problem, I'll think about it. And he even apologized. So it goes two ways. So I guess if young people of these days or anybody, you just have to really think about it and, try to resist that temptation of being angry and lash back and just really think about the situation.
Sometimes it's not easy, but try.
It's not easy.
I know, God.
And just to add on to what he says about the evaluation process of like going back, sitting quietly, thinking about it, and just seeing what other solution that can come up with it, and being wise with the whole situation and everything. I think it's also, as Christians, we need to kind of ask ourselves like, what would Jesus do in that situation? In that situation, because there's like, even if you look at Jesus, the way his journey when he was like being, criticized by the Pharisees and all the teachers of the law. How he handled the situation.
Calm.
Very calm. And there was so much wisdom in him, and because he was one with God, his body and spirit was one with God, there was so much wisdom that whenever he spoke to them, he always he speak to them, but at the same time teach them as well. And that's what wisdom does to you. You know, it not only like doesn't only like just say like you respond to to something else, but it's also a matter of like having to explain it to someone properly so well that they actually understand what you're saying, and then it's better that way, you know. And also one another final thing is to know that criticism, when people criticize us, you know, can actually be for our own good.
Yes, it is for our own good.
You can actually learn from it, because they're probably the only people sometimes that have like, you know, they're courageous enough to like to come to us and tell us, okay, you're doing this and that, but I see you could do this and that. You know? And
I think a really nice verse that will suit that is because in Proverbs 19:20 it says, listen to the counsel and receive instructions that you may be wise in later days. So by you getting those blames, it's not just going to help you for that moment. It's going to help you for tomorrow, the future. You know, at that moment you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just done that to me. But then later you're going to be like, oh my God, that blame, those reproaches I got that day, that actually is helping me today. But the fact that moment you're in a heated conversation or you're angry, you don't see it yet.
Feel like they're coming at you,
you know,
trying to attack you. Like,
exactly. Like sometimes it's the same with my mom. Like, you know, she could be home from work, she's in a bad mood, and you know, we just clash at that moment because I'm home from work, you're home from work, both in a bad mood.
Mom, I'm tired.
And then she could say something, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, you know, we're just home together, you know. But then again, when she leaves me at home with the kids, and when my sister speaks to me like that, I start to understand. You know, I'm like, what? Like, the way you're speaking to me, I'm starting to see now. This is the way I used to speak to my mom. Like, you know, so the way she was explaining to me, oh, I probably said this to you and this because this. So it helped me later on when I was with my siblings. And as I was saying, as just to add on to everything else, for example, how to react to blames in church could be, as they say in Lingala, miki tisa. Vanda miki tisa.
Humbleness is the
kanisa. You know, sit down and think. You know, before you speak, just to add on to Oxy's, like, you know, you can go up to them and be like, oh, I said this, I was wrong. You're not going to lose anything because you're coming to them and saying, I was wrong.
I was wrong,
But then again, you can also come up to them and say, but what you done was wrong too. This is the way I felt. You know, there's no problem with that because that person will actually appreciate, but probably at that moment they didn't understand. You know, another thing is also important, you have to obey to their orders. You know, as it says in Ephesians, obey your parents because it's right. You know, you don't, that word parents can be substituted into anything. Anything. Let it be in work, obey your colleagues.
Someone's mother is also your mother.
Exactly.
Someone's older sister to your sister.
Anybody, because if you don't obey, one, you're not showing example to probably people around you. If you don't obey, and somebody doesn't obey you, that's when it hurts. You know, you could be in work, you obey somebody, that's no problem. Of course they're going to obey you. That one day you don't obey them, they're going to remember it. And that day they don't obey you, you're going to be like, wait, what? You don't know? It's going to hurt. You know, so it's very important to obey. Obey to the order, no matter what they say. You know, as I said, it could help you later in life.
Definitely, I have a verse for that, like helping later in life, in Hebrews 12:11. So I'm just going to read it out. It says, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it.
Amen.
So just to add on to what everybody has said, like, reproach and criticism is part of life.
It is.
It will come from every single aspect that we've discussed here. People are always going to see something, you know, wrong with you. Because nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. And so it's always going to come around. But at the time, like, we wouldn't think that, why are they blaming me? Like, why are they reproaching me? And you'd be like, I haven't done anything wrong. But as in Lingala they say, "Mai ningana pambate." You get, like, water does not shake on its own.
You must have done something for them to actually come at you.
Like, they wouldn't just come out of nowhere and be like, you're doing this wrong. You must have been doing something wrong. So as everybody has said, like, listen to what they're saying, analyze the situation, Try to put yourself in their shoes. Like, why are they saying this to me now? Like, you know, try to understand where it's coming from.
Seeing their point of view also, yeah.
Exactly. And obey, because at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit you.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. You know, like reproach, like Gloria said before, it can be constructive or destructive, but it depends on how you take it.
Yep.
If you want it to be constructive, it will be constructive and be useful to you in the future. So, like, just going back to the fact that reproaches is just gonna come around. So, one thing that I would give as a guideline is, because we're Christians, prayer is key.
Amen.
It is, yeah.
Prayer is definitely key. So, we should always pray and ask God for self-control.
Yes.
How to react to these things is having self-control, because when you have self-control and also wisdom, all these things nobody will have to tell you, so this is how you have to go about it. You will just know because you have that wisdom and you have self-control, especially if you're the kind of person who has anger issues.
Yeah.
Where, like, if somebody says to you, your first instinct is like lash back and,
Slamming
you're
doors,
like,
especially.
like,
Especially
you know,
for the youth, like,
I know,
especially
yeah.
young people, they
And
have no
God,
patience.
the mouth. Oh, youth today, they
That
got
mouth.
verbal mouth. Oh.
So yeah, we definitely have to pray for self-control, just so we don't lash out and, you know, take in what they're saying and try to better ourselves. And like God said, always ask. I like to say it, always ask WWJD, which means, what would Jesus do? Because we're Christians. Yeah. What would Jesus do in that situation?
It's a great abbreviation there.
I know,
Great abbreviation.
I know, I think-
WWJD.
Yeah, it better stick. It's so easy. So easy. WWJD. Yeah. So just that, like,
What would Jesus do?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
yes.
Because we are his imitators.
Yeah,
we
we
are
are
called to be his
Christians.
imitator. He is our example to follow.
Exactly.
It's
Like,
not
Christian,
easy, but we try.
Christian literally means to be Christ-like. We should be like Christ.
Yeah.
So we should be asking ourselves, like, in this situation, what would Christ do?
Yeah.
So just that's what I wanted to add, and hopefully it's some help. Yeah.
It's a big help, yeah.
One thing I just wanted out of there as well, you should also keep your justification.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's also important, you know. As I said again, it's no problem going back to them and justifying yourself. It's
Yeah.
important, you know, because sometimes at that moment that person doesn't understand. So justify yourself to them, probably why I reacted like that. Because there's always a reason. There could be a reason, you know, you could be having a bad day. You probably were in an argument with somebody before that. So that's probably why you committed what you done, like, you know, at that moment. So just keep you can justify yourself as well. It's no problem at all.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I just wanted to add, we're supposed to, as Christians, we always say, oh, I obey God, but we do not see God. But if you don't obey or you don't respect people you see, then how will you obey or be able to say, oh no, I'm a child of God, I respect God? But God will put people beside you, people in your life to guide you, because He will not come down from heaven and show you what you're doing is wrong. But He always use people sometimes think, oh no, I only obey to God, I only have God, but like, God isn't going to come down from heaven and show you you're doing wrong, don't do this. But it's only going to use someone so they can, as youth, you're growing. It's a growing process, a learning process. So, you know, God will put people in your life who will bring you into the path that God wants you to be in.
Amen, yeah.
You know, and every single person have a purpose in your life. And you know, have to be calm a certain situation. Is just don't lash out. Just don't try not to lash out in giving response or getting angry. Just try and calm down. And again, it's a learning process. We're all learning. None of us are perfect. We're just trying to do what Jesus would do. WWJD.
Yes.
What He would do.
Yes.
Oh, I totally get that. I'm gonna
Definitely.
use that. WWJD. So, you know, it's good. It's good for us to be able to address these issues, especially people out there as well who are watching, who are seeing. We're all the same. We're not different. You know, we're all different in certain aspects, but we all feel the same as well. And also think about people who are criticizing you. Your response. How do they feel? How you make them feel? Try not to hurt their feelings, because they're only trying to give you a good constructive criticism. So it will change you in your future life. So it will shape you into the man that you should be. You know, because as you see today, we see people, your youth are going astray, which is not according to what the Lord wants. You know, as us youth, we should try and encourage each each other, try and help each other, and lift each other up. That is our main goal as Christians. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add, or anything you'd want to say, or anything you want to...
Yeah, just have one more thing to say. All kind of this boils down to having self-control in a way.
Yes.
Like in 2 Timothy it says, God has given us a spirit not of timidity but of power and love and self-control. So like self-control and self-discipline is really hard to maintain. But basically self-control means to control yourself.
Yes.
So if you're gonna be blamed and you have to control yourself in a way where you have to be wise, like we were speaking, everybody was speaking there. They even said it's hard. Like it's not easy thing to control.
It's
not a lot.
It's not.
But we need to have self-control. I think that's one key, fruit, if I can say that we need to have, especially in this situation, and that's you need to develop on that to have it. So self-control is really big. It plays a big part of this.
Yeah, and I was saying before, like a way to obtain self-control is only by prayer. And the only person who can help you with that is God Himself, asking for His Holy Spirit. Because if He takes control of your life, He takes control of your mind, you're not going to do certain things according to your own desires.
No, you won't.
He will help you get that
He will
self-control.
definitely help you get that self-control.
So definitely prayer is the key.
Prayer is the key, indeed. And again, that brings me again into the chapter that I started off with, Ecclesiastes 11:9, where the Bible says, do what you want to do as you are young, but know there is judgment.
Amen.
You will be judged for your action that you're doing today. Thank you very much for joining us today. That was our discussion. Again, we are the youth of New Blood of New Covenant Church of Rama Ministry. We gather every Sunday at 2 p.m. at Lucan Village at the Methodist Church. And this is our youth meeting that occurs once every month. It's usually every first Saturday of the month that we have this, and we welcome everyone to join us, and anyone have any discussion that they want to address. And this is actually based in Dublin, for anyone who's not from Dublin, who do not know us, but we're here from Dublin. And again, we welcome any criticism, any constructive, whether it's negative or positive, because this is for all of us. We're trying to help all of each other out, because we're learning just as much as you are learning also. So you want to learn together. So your support will really be appreciated if you support this program. So the main goal is to bring youth to Christ.
Amen.
Bring back to Christ His youth, His children, because they are the future of the tomorrow. Amen. We thank you very much, and we have a very good day or evening, day, whatever it may find you. I don't know where you are at the moment, but for us it's the afternoon, right? Good afternoon, and have a very blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.